Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Lakshmi finally saved Rishi from the Ravan idol, but Lakshmi falls unconscious after saving Rishi. So let's continue from there. After Lakshmi regains consciousness, Lakshmi comes to the hall and calls Rishi. Rishi comes there and he gets happy to see that Lakshmi is fine. Lakshmi gets emotional seeing Rishi and he recalls Rishi's words and she hugs him. Rishi owed Lakshmi. Shalu comes there. Ayush comes from outside and looks at them and he smiles. Lakshmi asks if Rishi is fine. She asks if he got any injury. Rishi says nothing can happen to me when you are my shield. Lakshmi apologized to Rishi and says, I don't know what had happened to me. I was upset with you. Rishi says I was upset because you were not talking to me, and he also apologized to her. Rishi asks if Lakshmi is a superwoman to jump in the fire to save him. Lakshmi says, I don't think of anything or anyone, and I don't think of myself when the matter is about you. I had to save you anyhow. Rishi says, even if you have to risk your life. Lakshmi says, I care for you before myself. Rishi asks why. Shalu thinks that tell him that you love him. Ayush thinks that if sister-in-law is not saying that she loves you, then you should say it, Rishi. Virendra calls Lakshmi. Lakshmi hugs Virendra. Virendra appreciates Lakshmi for saving Rishi's life and says, you have done a big favor for me. Lakshmi says, don't say this. This is my duty. Grandma says it is your love and she asks if Lakshmi is fine. Lakshmi says she is fine. Grandma says she is old, but her eyesight is sharp and she can see that you are not fine. Ayush says yes and tells Lakshmi that Grandma was talking about love. Grandma says, I said the right thing, that your love is beyond your duty. So who sent you to help Rishi? She asks Lakshmi to talk. Neelam asks Grandma not to force others into believing her. She thanks Lakshmi for saving Rishi and she asks Lakshmi not to think like others, that she had saved Rishi for her love, because it is not true. Grandma asks Neelam that why did Lakshmi save Rishi then? Neelam says Lakshmi herself should accept what she is. She is inauspicious. Virendra shouted Neelam. Neelam says for now, what matters to me is how my son gets inside the Ravan's effigy. She says Rishi had caught Balvinda and she asks if it was Balvinda that put Rishi there. Neelam asks Lakshmi how she got to the Ravan effigy. Lakshmi tells her that when she was searching for Rishi, she saw Supu who was tied up, and Supu told her that someone made Rishi unconscious and says, when I reached there, I saw Rishi. Virendra says, so you did not see the person that tied Rishi up? And Lakshmi says no, and Rishi feels apologetic that he cannot tell everyone about Balvinda now, and he thinks that I am enough to handle Balvinda. Later, Rishi, Lakshmi, Ayush and Shalu are in the car. Rishi says, I am enough for Balvinda. Ayush says, we will not let you go alone. Shalu asks, why didn't you tell the family about Balvinda? Rishi says, they must have been worried about me, so I cannot increase their worries. Lakshmi says to Rishi that the family are worried even now. Rishi says, I thought to catch Balvinda first, and then I will tell everyone. They ask, where are they going to? Rishi says they will go to Balvinda's house. Lakshmi says Balvinda knows that you are fine, so he will not be in his house. Rishi gives examples and tells them that Balvinda will be at home and we will catch him. Balvinda gets worried suddenly and he tells Gudu that Rishi can come there at any time. He asks for gastric trouble medicine and he says they will take it from the chemist. He says we should run because Rishi thinks a step ahead of him. They pack their bags and they are about to run. They open the door and Balvinda gets punched by Rishi because Rishi was already standing at the door. Rishi says to Balvinda that he did not die because he was saved by Lakshmi. Ayush owed Gudu and asked that what were you doing outside the office that day, and he beat him. Malishka comes to Rishi's room and she thinks that what are they planning? Where has Rishi gone to? Rishi tells Balvinda that even if 1000 Balvinda comes, then also they cannot kill him because Lakshmi is his shield. Rishi owed Gudu and asks that what were you doing outside my office some days ago? Gudu says I will die, but I will not talk. Ayush beat Balvinda and says my sister-in-law is my brother's shield and she is his guard. Balvinda thinks that if Lakshmi would have been his wife, then she would have saved him like she is saving Rishi. Malishka thinks to alert Balvinda so that he can run away from there before Rishi gets to him. Lakshmi gets angry and slaps Balvinda. She then takes a rod and she asks, how dare you to attempt to kill Rishi? Balvinda says, I love you, Lakshmi, and Rishi gets angry and owed Balvinda. Malishka calls Balvinda. Lakshmi finds Balvinda's phone ringing and she thinks that Malishka must have called. She should also get exposed. Balvinda thinks that Malishka should not get caught and he pushes Rishi. Lakshmi gets the phone and picks the call, but it was some wrong number that was on the call. Malishka finds Balvinda's number busy and she gets frustrated. Karishma comes there and keeps her hand on Malishka's shoulder. She asks if Malishka have any work and why is she worried. Malishka says, I was worried for Rishi and that is why I came here to make him understand. But Rishi is not here and that illiterate girl Lakshmi is not here too. And she asks if Lakshmi has taken Rishi with her. But Karishma says it is difficult to say. Rishi asks Balvinda to say the truth and tell him why he came to attack him. Lakshmi tells Ayush that Rishi doesn't know about Malishka and Balvinda working together. Ayush asks Balvinda to tell them about his partner in crime, and Rishi asks Balvinda to talk and he beats him. Malishka tells Karishma that Rishi is getting manipulated by Lakshmi and Lakshmi is trapping Rishi. Karishma says, my own son is not even in my control too because of Lakshmi. Malishka asks about Ayush. Karishma says Ayush is not at home. Malishka realized and thinks that it is good that her call couldn't get connected to Balvinda, else she would have exposed herself. Balvinda tells Rishi that nobody was with him and he asks where to write it. Rishi hit him hard and Balvinda faints and falls down. Karishma asks Malishka not to worry about Ayush. Malishka says I know and that is why I am thinking just about Rishi. Karishma says everything will be fine and she asks Malishka. Ayush checks Balvinda and says that he has fainted. Rishi says Balvinda is pretending. Lakshmi says we should hand over him to the police. Rishi says you are right. Balvinda opens his eyes and signals to Gudu. Both Gudu and Balvinda pushes Rishi and they run away. Rishi and Ayush run behind them, but they have escaped. Lakshmi and Shalu come out running after Rishi and Ayush. Lakshmi falls down while running and Rishi and Ayush ran back to Lakshmi. Rishi gets worried and lifted Lakshmi in his arms. Ayush asks Shalu to come and says he will drop her at home and he is about to carry Shalu too, but Shalu asks him to stop and Ayush says sorry. Shalu asks Ayush to bring the car. Lakshmi asks Rishi to drop her. She says she did not have any leg injury. Rishi says you are accident prone. Lakshmi says you will get tired carrying me. Rishi says I do work out in the gym, so I can never be tired. Lakshmi says okay, I will sit properly in your arms. And Rishi says I get afraid of you getting overweight because of a day like this. Lakshmi asks if Rishi called her fat and she asks about a lean girl that Rishi knows. Rishi says like Malishka, she is slim. Lakshmi says she did not feel bad. Rishi asks if he can go out with some girls and Lakshmi will not feel bad. Lakshmi asks him to keep her down and says now you will be going out with girls. Now you can leave them in your arms. And Rishi put Lakshmi down. Rishi says to Lakshmi that I will talk to you later. Ayush brings the car. Lakshmi says the car is better for me. Rishi couldn't take me home in his arms and she sits in the car. Ayush made fun of Rishi and Rishi sits at the front seat of the car, but then he gets down and sits with Lakshmi at the back seat and Lakshmi smiles. At home, Malishka is worried thinking if Rishi might have caught Balvinda and made him speak the truth by force. She thinks that she should not think negative and she thinks if she should call Balvinda and then she decided not to call him with the fear of getting caught. Rishi and Lakshmi comes home. Malishka thinks that they have come but they are looking normal and she thinks if they did not come to know about her truth. Malishka asks Rishi that why did he go to Balvinda after an attack on him. She then asks Lakshmi that why did she take Rishi with her so that the attack can happen to him again and then Lakshmi will save his life and become great again. Rishi asks, is this the way to talk to Lakshmi? And Malishka says, what if that attacker returned to kill you? Lakshmi asks Malishka that why are you staying back here? Why haven't you gone home when the festival has already ended? Are you staying back to know if the attacker is caught? Rishi says yes. He asks if Malishka wants to know about the attacker. Malishka says I was worried for you, Rishi, and I want to know about the attacker. Malishka asks if Rishi knows the attacker. Rishi says no and says that once he or she do a mistake, then we will catch him or her. Malishka thinks to be silent because if she asks too much questions, then Lakshmi will get suspicious and she tells Rishi that she is happy that he is safe and there is nothing important for her than his safety. She asks Rishi to take care and says he is very important to her. She hugs Rishi and says good night and she goes. Rishi asks Lakshmi to come and says he would apply ointment to her wound, but Lakshmi says she did not get the big injury. Malishka comes to her house. Balvinda holds Malishka from behind. Malishka slaps Balvinda and asks, "How dare you to touch Rishi? And you wanted to snatch my life, and you were making my love go away from me. How dare you?" Balvinda says to Malishka that you were about to ruin my life. I had told you and your father. He says, first, you were behind Lakshmi, and now you are after my life. Malishka says, I bought you to send Lakshmi to jail and not to kill her. And what were you doing? You were about to kill Rishi. Balvinda says Rishi did not die, and he calls Malishka chameleon for changing colors every time. Malishka says to Balvinda that you gave me the wrong pen drive and you are calling me chameleon. Balvinda says he did that intentionally. He asks Malishka not to have enmity with him and says it will be problematic for her. He asks for her help and says that Rishi had beaten him up and says that he has taken his clothes from the mechanic garage, and he asks her to make arrangements for him to stay in her house. Malishka asks Balvinda if he has gone mad. Balvinda says I will stay in this room. Malishka asks Balvinda to go away because a goon like him can never stay in her house. Balvinda asks Malishka to keep her makeup stuff and says that it will be useful in the jail because it will be a downfall if she doesn't let him stay in her house. Malishka asks if Balvinda is threatening her. Balvinda says I am your partner and we would help each other. Malishka says fine, I will help him, and she asks him to stay in his limit. She says we can stay here, but only if you give me the real pen drive. Balvinda checks his pocket for the pen drive, but he is shocked to see that the pen drive is missing. Balvinda tells Malishka that he doesn't know where it fell down. He says he did not see the pen drive and he just kept it with him for his safety. And Malishka asks, have you gone mad? At home, Lakshmi takes the pen drive from the drawer and she calls Rishi. Rishi comes there. Lakshmi asks if the pen drive belongs to Rishi. Rishi says no, but this kind of pen drive is used in our hotels, but he doesn't know who owns it. Lakshmi says to Rishi that if this is the kind of pen drive they use at his hotel, then maybe it fell down from the thief who stole it. Balvinda asks Malishka that what is in that pen drive. Malishka says this is our death warrant. Lakshmi says to Rishi that the kitchen pen drive was stolen, and she tells him that the thief must have thrown it away by mistake during the festival. Rishi says maybe it fell from Balvinda, and he goes to get his laptop. Malishka says maybe the pen drive fell down near the Ravan FVG ground, and she gets worried. She gets worried thinking that someone might have gotten the pen drive. Lakshmi and Rishi play the pen drive on Rishi's laptop, and they were shocked. Lakshmi says to Rishi that it is a big proof that can prove our innocence, and Rishi says now we know who the real criminal is. Malishka takes Balvinda to the guest room. Balvinda gets happy seeing the lavish room, and he imagines how his wedding picture with Lakshmi and their children will look like on the wall. Malishka gets frustrated and Balvinda asks for a drink. Malishka says we can stay here, but don't misbehave. Balvinda says I can get one murder case every month for you, and I will stay here for all my life. Malishka says to Balvinda that you can stay here for some time, and she warns him and asks him to stay in his limit, else she will tell Neelam about him. She asks him again if he has the pen drive. Balvinda swears on Kiran, and then he swears on his mother that he doesn't have the pen drive. Malishka worries if Lakshmi get the pen drive, and she asks Balvinda to stay in the room, and Balvinda must never come out. Balvinda says to Malishka that I don't get sleep in the night if I am alone, and Malishka slaps him. Balvinda asks, why did you slap me? I wanted to say that I don't get sleep without drinking alcohol. Malishka asks him to open the cupboard and drink as much as he likes, and she angrily leaves from there. Balvinda thinks of his words, and he thinks that Malishka misunderstood him. He opens the cupboard and takes different alcohol and he drinks. Rishi tells Lakshmi that God gave them this pen drive because their heart is clear, and Lakshmi says we got the real criminal. Malishka thinks that this pen drive will be my life's threat, and she hopes that Lakshmi doesn't get the pen drive. She sees the shooting star, and she made a wish that no one should see the pen drive, and even if they see the pen drive, then also they should not know the truth about her. Lakshmi tells Rishi that they should give the pen drive to the police. Rishi says we have faced so much because of that criminal, and he will punish the criminal. It says the criminal will get the dreams of 7-bath jail rather than 7-bath relationship. Malishka thinks that she should think about Rishi and her so that she can get the dream about Rishi that they are together for 7 baths. She tries to sleep and she lies down on the bed and she wished that everything about her should be fine. Okay guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it as well, and check the comment section for the link to the next update. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.